Okay. All right, what we want to look at now in this lesson is how to calculate the percent of something, whether it says percent of tax, percent of discount, whether it asks you to find the percent of increase or the percent of decrease. Anytime it asks you to find the percent, you can simply use this if you're looking for one of these, okay? All right, so you're going to be using original amount and new amount. So since we're going to be using original amount and new amount, we want to keep in mind that the original amount is the one that happens first, okay? So that's the one thing we want to pay attention to. All right, so define a percent of discount or a percent of decrease. That's the same thing. Anything that deals with a percent reduction, that's like a percent of discount, okay? So basically what we're going to be trying to figure out is how much is it below the original amount? Like by what percent is it below the original amount? All right, and a percent of increase could be like a tax or, a tip or something like that. In other words, how much is it above the original amount? All right, so this basically is just like your percent of add-on, whatever was added on. You're trying to find that percent. If you're looking for a percent of discount, you're trying to figure out by what percent was something reduced. All right, so you're going to follow these steps where it has step 1 and step 2. So you're going to follow these steps here. Let me go here. This step and this step in order to find the percent of discount or decrease or increase or a tax or anything like that, okay? Or what percent was added on. If you're looking for a percent of some number, we're going to follow these steps right here. And it's pretty simple if you just follow the steps. So the first step, it says to take the difference of the original amount and the new amount. Okay, well, so how do you find difference? Well, we've talked about difference before. Difference means what operation? Add, subtract, multiply, divide. Well, of course, difference means you're going to subtract. Okay, so basically all you're going to do is subtract the original amount and the new amount. And then you're going to divide by the original amount. So that bar means you're going to divide. That's your division bar. All right, so you divide by this, you subtract the original and the new amount, and then you divide by the original amount. And it's going to give you some decimal. And then you will move on to step 2, which says multiply by 100, or you could simply move the decimal 2 places, not to the left, but to the right. Because if you're changing to a percent, you move the decimal 2 places to the right. If you're changing your percent to a decimal, you move it 2 places to the left. And I always try to tell my students to remember this. If you want to try to change it to a percent, but we're going to keep in mind, we're looking for a percent of discount or a percent of increase. So we're looking for a percent. So if you're looking for a percent, what you're going to do is you're going to make sure after you follow step 1 that you move it 2 places to the right. So if you see the R in percent, R can help you to remember it goes to the right. In the other lesson, we were changing our percents to decimals. Decimal has an L in it that will help you to remember if you're trying to go to a decimal, move it 2 places to the left, L for left. But this is looking for a percent. Percent has an R in it, R for right. So maybe something to help you so you won't get mixed up with what direction to move. But if you think you may get mixed up, just multiply by 100. Boom, you're done. You don't have to worry about what direction to move the decimal. All right, let's take a look at number 1. It says a pair of shoes was originally $39.99, but it's on sale for $29.99. So this was the original, and this is the new cost, okay? Now the question says, what is the percent of discount? Okay, so whether you're looking for a percent of discount, percent of increase, percent of tax, it doesn't matter. We're going to follow the same steps, okay? All right. So step 1 says find the difference of the original amount and new amount. So when you find the difference, you just subtract those two. All right, so I'm going to put the larger number first, 39.99. So when I subtract, I don't end up with some negative. Minus 29.99. Okay, I'm going to take that. I'm going to make sure I divide it by what? It says divided by the original amount. Okay, so which one of these was the original amount? Well, it tells you right here clearly that the original amount was $39.99. So I'm going to divide by $39.99. Okay, let's 39.99. This is all step 1. $39.99 minus $29.99 is 10. So you're going to end up with 10 divided by $39.99. All right, so we'll take 10 and divide it by $39.99. And we end up with some long decimal, okay? But I'm going to write these percents off to the nearest hundredth. Right now, that 0 tells that to stay the same. So basically, I'm just going to go with 25 hundredths, okay? Now, what is step 2? So after you do step 1, move on to step 2. Step 2 says to multiply by 100. Okay, so multiply what by 100? Okay, you take what you got in step 1 and multiply it by 100. So I'm going to take 25 hundredths and multiply it by 100, and I get 25. And I need to put number 3 up here. Number 3, add the percent sign to the result of step 2. Because some students will forget to add the percent sign. So basically, when it says what percent of discount, then it is a 25% discount. So if the shoes started off at $39.99 and then they sold for $29.99, which was some reduction or less, then that means there was a 25% discount applied to the $39.99 to get it to be a new price of $29.99. Okay. All right. So again, very simple, guys. Okay, very simple. Let's go to number 2. Number 2 says last year there were 247 students that attended the first home football game. This year there was 295 students that attended the game. What is the percent increase in attendance? So I'm looking for the percent increase. So what I'm going to do is subtract my two amounts. I'm going to take 295, put the larger number first, minus 247. And I'm going to divide it by the original amount. Now the thing is, which one was the original amount? The original amount is the one that happened first. Okay? It doesn't say original. We got to look for the one that happened first. Did last year happen first or did this year happen first? Okay, last year came first. Last year came before this year. So last year would be our original. And this year will be represented by the new number, a new amount. Okay, so but we're not dividing by the new, we're dividing by the original, because if you go back to step 1, it says divide by the original amount. Okay, so go back. The original amount was 247. So we're going to make sure after we subtract that we divide. Okay, so let's subtract first. 2, because that bar means divide. Some people act like they don't know that. 295 minus 247 is 48. So I'm going to take 48 and divide it by 247. Okay, so let's see what we end up with. Once you divide it, you get this long decimal. But I'm going to round these percents I want to be to the nearest whole. So I'm just going to go out 3 decimal places. So this 4 tells that 9 to stay the same. So I'm going to approximate this to 1900s. Okay. All right. Now I got step 2. Then I have step 1. So step 2 says take that 1900s and multiply it by 100. Well, that gives me 19%. And it's approximately 19%, guys, because we round it right here. Okay. This was an approximation too, because we rounded. Okay. All right, so that's going to be our approximately 19% increase. And that's all you do. Make sure you put your percent sign on the end of it. All right, on 3 says, I bought a pair of boots on Black Friday for $39.99. All right, the boots were originally $129.99. People love Black Friday. All right, what is the percent of discount? So in other words, you're looking for the amount of decrease, the percent of decrease. All right, so in other words, to find that percent of discount, what we're going to do is follow the steps. So step 1, you're going to subtract the original amount and the new amount. All right, so make sure when you subtract, put the larger number first. $129.99 minus $39.99. And you're going to take that amount that you get when you subtract, and you're going to divide it by the original amount. Well, what was the original amount? The original amount of the boots was $129.99. Okay? So when you do $129.99 minus the $39.99, you get 90. Okay? So that's 90 divided by $129.99. Okay, let's divide that by $129.99, the original price, and we get a long decimal again. All right, so here we go. Let me write the decimal. All right, so here's our decimal. Okay, I'm just going to write it out to the nearest thousand. That 2 tells that to stay the same. So this is approximately 6900s. And what I'm going to do is multiply that decimal by 100. Guys, you could simply just push the decimal 2 places to the right, because multiplying by 100 pushes the decimal 2 places to the right. So I end up with approximately 69% discount. Okay. All right, and that's all you do. Excuse me. All right, so if we take a look at number 4. It says Martha's subtotal was $138.81. Remember, a subtotal is what you pay before any type of add-on or discount. I'm gonna write that right here. I already mentioned it in a prior lesson, but I want to mention it again. Okay. So I'm just talking about this. A subtotal is what the price is before an add-on or a discount. So before anything happened, her amount was $138.81. But then after taxes were applied, Martha paid $149.22. So this had to be her original, and after was her new cost. Okay. All right. So what was the percent of increase? So I'm just going to follow the steps again. I'm going to subtract my two amounts, and I'm going to divide by the original cost. All right, so I have $149.22, $149.22 minus $138.81. That gives me $10.41. So that's a difference there, okay, of $10.41 divided by the 138.81. So divide that by 138.81, and I get this long decimal again when I round it out to the nearest hundred. All right, to the nearest hundred. So I need 3 decimal places to round it. And that's a 0. Let me write that a little better. So that 4 tells that to stay the same. So that's going to be approximately 700s. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take 700s and move my decimal 2 places to the right, or either multiply it by 100. So I end up with 7%. So it is a 7%, and this is approximately, guys. So I'm going to put little squiggly lines. Approximately a 7% increase. All right. Let's go on and look at the last two. Hotel Transylvania. The Hotel Transylvania DVD is regularly $19.99. So that's what it is originally. When it says regularly, that means originally. But it's on sale for $11.99. So that would be the new cost. What is the percent of discount? So by what percent did it go down? All right, so I'll start off by finding the difference. $19.99. Let me write that a little better. $19.99 minus $11.99 divided by the original cost. The original cost was $19.99. So basically, I'm looking at $8 divided by $19.99. Okay, let's take 8 and divide it by $19.99. And again, we get a long decimal. I'm going to round it out to the nearest thousands. This 0 here tells this 0 to stay the same. So we'll say that's approximately 40 hundredths. I'm going to keep the 0 because when I make it a percent, I'm going to push the decimal 2 places to the right. So I want to have 2 numbers, okay, at least 2 numbers behind the decimal. I'm going to get ready to push it. All right, and then step 2 is to take that decimal and multiply by 100, which allows me to push this 2 places to the right. It's going to be, I'm going to put little squiggles because I did round, approximately 40% discount. Excuse me. Approximately a 40% discount. All right, last one. All right, Lily bought a flat iron that was on sale for $98.99. Originally, the flat iron was $149.99. All right, it says, what was the percent of decrease? Because it went down. You went from like a $145 flat iron to a $98 or $99 flat iron. So yeah, it did go down. All right, so we're going to follow the steps. We're going to find the difference between those two prices. 144, put the large number first when you subtract. 144.99 minus 98.99, and we want to divide by the original cost. The original cost was 144.99. So if I take 144.99 and I subtract 98.99, you get 46. 46 divided by 144.99 is another long decimal. Let's see. 0, 3, 1. I'm going to round it out to the nearest thousands right there. So I can at least have to the nearest hundredth here. So that's approximately 32 hundredths. That 7 tells that 1 to go up. I'm going to take that 32 hundredths and multiply it by 100, which allows me to push it 2 places to the right. So basically, I'm going to use approximation symbols because I did round. So basically, that's a 32% decrease because it's asking about the percent of decrease. And that's all you do to find a percent of tax, percent of discount, percent of increase, to find a percent of something. That's just basically all you do. All right, and that's it.